I have seen a couple of things in the NBA this week that I have personally viewed as positives for the league. Outside of their blatant dedication to rainbows, turning arenas into worship centers for woke United Methodists, there is one constant complaint I always hear about the modern NBA. I receive emails from you guys every week about the NBA. I see this same sentiment in the comment section here on YouTube. Matter of fact, I don't think I have seen one person refute this claim. The NBA is soft. Players are coddled. They're pampered. Wednesday night, my Pelicans played the Timberwolves in New Orleans. During halftime of the game, I got on Twitter and I praised NBA officials. Now, this is rare. I'm usually complaining about the inconsistent officiating in this league. But I was praising them Wednesday night because the officials were doing what they are supposed to do. They were letting the players play. It was a physical game from start to finish. During the first half, there were no pampered fouls being called. You had to get knocked to the floor to get to the free throw line, and even then, it wasn't guaranteed. Now, of course, all of that changed during the second half. Third quarter lasted for a full hour because of all the pussy fouls being called. But I've seen a couple of things in the NBA this week that reminded me of the toughness that we grew up watching in the 90s. The first happened in Detroit on Wednesday night when the Pistons and Magic got into a brawl. After this happened, I am sure Adam Silver was hiding under his desk. Oh, this toxic masculinity! Why are they fighting after a hard foul? They should be holding hands and giving each other woke hugs. Let's all support each other. I am sure this brought back painful memories of the Malice in the Palace in 2004. Adam Silver suspended 11 players, 11, over a minor scuffle. I thought it was great though. These are two sub-500 teams who were emotionally invested in the game. I am used to NBA players not giving a fuck about the regular season. Fights like this create rivalries. Now, the second incident this week involves Chicago Bulls announcer Stacey King, who won 3 championships with Jordan during the early 90s. Stacey King sent the beta males on emotional Twitter into a full-blown panic attack Wednesday night. You know the dudes I'm talking about, the type of dudes who think a punching bag is supposed to be used to practice woke hugs, the 2-incher pinchers who call themselves birthing persons who order pink daiquiris with rainbow umbrellas instead of whiskey on the rocks at the bar. Wednesday night, the struggling Milwaukee Bucks were in Chicago to play the Bulls. Now, this could be another potential rivalry in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee and Chicago, only about 90 minutes apart. Both of these teams do not like each other, mainly because of Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen catches a lot of shit on social media and throughout the NBA. He is the type of player that you want on your team, but you hate the dude when he's your opponent. This dude's like a horsefly when you're in the pool. You keep going underwater, you keep swimming away, but the little fucker flies right back on your head. Grayson Allen is a nuisance. The kid's tough. He's a dirty player. He makes the type of plays that don't show up on the stat sheet. If Grayson Allen were playing in the NFL, he would give fake NFL analysts like Mina Kimes nightmares. Oh, this is no bueno. How can I properly analyze a player that doesn't provide me meaningless statistics no one gives a shit about? The truth is, the NBA needs more players like Grayson Allen. At the end of the day, this is entertainment. Every great movie or TV show is built around good versus evil. You need someone your audience can get behind, but in order to do that, you need the perfect antagonist. You know why people were emotionally invested in Michael Jordan finally getting past the Detroit Pistons? The Pistons were the perfect heels. The Pistons were hated throughout the NBA. That team had 5 Grayson Allens on the roster. 5 dudes that were not afraid to play dirty, weren't afraid to knock your ass to the floor. Once you were down there, don't expect them to help you back up. Now, during the third quarter Wednesday night in Chicago, Grayson Allen hit DeMar DeRozan with a hard foul. He had just passed the ball off, looked like they were going to set up a screen. While going for the setup, Grayson Allen, he was lightly pushed in the back. So he had his momentum going forward. He lifted his arm and elbowed DeMar DeRozan in the back of the head. It wasn't necessarily a hard shot, but it was the type of play Grayson Allen has become known for. He's going to try to hit you and get away with it. DeMar DeRozan gets off the floor, he's pissed off. Entire Bulls roster, pissed off. Bulls announcer Stacey King, pissed off. While officials were determining whether or not it classified as a flagrant foul, Stacey King made his feelings known about Grayson Allen. Now, I'm going to black out the video footage because the NBA won't allow me to show it, but listen to the comments from Stacey King.
This is why people have a problem with Grayson Allen.
Let me tell you something. Somebody needs to give him a two-piece. I guarantee he'll stop doing that. Somebody pop him upside his head a couple times. He'll stop doing that because he's getting away with this too much.
Constantly.
He does this all the time.
Did any of that offend you? Did that cause you to grab your emotional support shovel and have a good cry on your couch? Regional broadcasters in the NBA, they are supposed to be biased for the home team. They're paid to be one-sided. When I'm watching my Pelicans, I expect Joel Myers and Antonio Daniels to call the game one-sided. And by the way, and I'm not just saying this because he's in New Orleans, Antonio Daniels, best in-game analyst in the NBA. This dude's unbelievable calling games. Part of me doesn't want the Pelicans on national TV because I don't want to listen to the whining of Jeff Van Gundy when Zion Williamson makes a 360 dunk in garbage time. Jeff Van Gundy would call that offensive. It's disrespectful to the beautiful game of basketball. But anyway, you heard Stacey King say someone should give Grayson Allen a two-piece. Someone should pop him in the head. Us normal people, we take this for what it is. Stacey King is saying the players should retaliate. He's not saying they should hurt or injure Grayson Allen. Just give him a taste of his own medicine. We used to call that competitiveness. We used to call it toughness. This is what the NBA needs, especially in the regular season. Players like Grayson Allen bring emotion to the game. They cause one side of the audience to cheer, and he elicits hatred from the other 29 fan bases in the league. That's a good thing. But you're not going to hear that from the mainstream media or the shitfucks on Twitter. No! Headline, god-awful announcing. One of the worst sports media sites on the internet. This garbage was written by some dude named Brandon Contis. This dude is your typical media wanker spanker. Remember the Jenna Lane story that we covered last week where she broke the record running the Clout 40? You guys remember that? Brandon Contis and God Awful Announcing slanted their story to defend Jenna Lane in the mainstream media. This particular headline about Stacey King said, Bulls announcer makes desperate plea for physical retaliation after Grayson Allen cheap shot. They claimed these remarks were over the top, but at least they stopped short of putting a bounty on his head. Stupid. The reaction on woke Twitter wasn't any better. Have you guys ever heard of Dario Melendez? Yeah, me either. He paid for his blue check mark for the first time in his life. He feels he has status. Imagine my surprise when I found out he also works for ESPN. Mario claims Stacey King should be embarrassed. Quit buying into the false narrative that Grayson Allen is a dirty player. Why are you instigating the fan base to become violent? Let's assume for a second Stacey King was trying to intentionally rile up the fan base in Chicago. Is that really a bad thing? Correct me if I'm wrong. I've always thought it was a positive for your fan base to hate the opposing team. Normal people aren't going to hear Stacey King and walk up to Grayson Allen on the street and punch him in the face. Normal people have common sense. But here's my favorite response in all these exchanges on Twitter. As you can see, we have an emotional fan of the Milwaukee Bucks, another dude who hugs the punching bag instead of punching it. But check out what Stacey King told him. Grow up, kid. This is a man's game. Exactly. This is not the WNBA. This is not pretend basketball. The NBA is supposed to be physical. I want to see players get pissed off. I want to see them talking shit back and forth after a hard foul. This is something that's been badly missing in the modern NBA. The reason the media and the shitfucks on Twitter don't like this, they don't like any traits of masculinity. They want men to be sensitive, easily offended. I saw something earlier today. Some popular YouTuber has come to the conclusion that saying Merry Christmas is offensive. His reasoning had nothing to do with religion. According to this dude, Merry Christmas is offensive because it could negatively impact people who are depressed. Who gives a shit? Why should I suppress my happiness because you're a huge embarrassing failure? It all started to make sense though when I saw a picture of this dude. Take a look for yourself. If I were this guy, I'd be depressed too. The only time this dude sees a pair of tits is when he's watching cows on the Discovery Channel. But anyway, give me your thoughts. Are players like Grayson Allen a good or bad thing for the NBA? Do you think Stacey King crossed the line by calling for players to retaliate? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.